Good afternoon, everybody. Russ Lewis here in the KHOU newsroom. Thanks for joining us here on a Thursday afternoon. It's about 2:15 or so on our digital platforms. We appreciate you watching. We look at our digital platforms all day. We see a lot of you clicking on this story on our website today involving Derion Vence. He, of course, the stepfather of little Malia Davis, the little girl who was found dead in Arkansas. And we can tell you today a grand jury has indicted Derion Vence with tampering with a corpse. Now, you may remember he was charged with that. A grand jury has now formally indicted him for that crime. What we're looking into today, and we expected this part of the case, but we're looking into why has he not been charged with murder yet? Because a lot of you have asked that of us to look into it. So we're talking to our legal analyst today, Gerald Treese, about how this case has evolved and what he thinks about the way it's going and why that murder charge has not come. And by the way, he feels that the district attorney is doing a great job on this case, that this initial indictment will lead to maybe some witnesses to help develop the murder case to make sure when they indict on that, if they do, that they can get a conviction and bring justice for Malia. So we're definitely following that case today. We'll have more on that at 4 o'clock, hearing from our legal analyst on the 411 today. Okay, this other story we're working on, I don't know how else to put it. It's just unbelievable that this happened. It's out of Hockley, and I'm going to set it up here for just a second. So this is what happens. We have a grandmother walking through a neighborhood to pick up her grandkids from school. All right, this happened back in May. We're just hearing about it now because of the arrest and the indictment here. But so she's walking through the neighborhood to pick up her grandkids, and all of a sudden she gets chased down by this pack of dogs, stray dogs, who start attacking her. She takes an umbrella she has with her and starts trying to beat back these dogs that are attacking her. A guy comes up to her, this is a 68-year-old woman, and punches her in the face, and then hops back in his car and takes off. Here's the guy that Precinct 4 deputies say did it. There he is. That's Nicholas Foley. He is charged with a felony for doing this now, and I can't tell you why he did this. Again, he's accused of it, but the woman says she recognized the guy because she's been picking up her grandkids, and she sees this guy picking up his kids at the school. So she knew who he was, at least, when she saw him, she recognized the guy. And somebody took down his license plate when he got in that car and drove off, and that's how Precinct 4 deputies say they got a hold of him and made the arrest. So I don't know what else to say. It's just unbelievable. We're looking into that, and maybe we'll find out, what his motive was there. But that woman had some injuries too over this. Obviously, punched in the face. But anyway, let's talk about weather now. Something a little more pleasant, or at least it was. We're going to heat back up here, and looks like we have, David Paul, some rain in the forecast as well.
So Russ, today is another unusually comfortable July day. Believe me, the last couple of days we have been totally spoiled. Summer humidity and heat's about to come back next week, so I hope you've been able to get outside and enjoy this. And this morning was fascinating. So we dropped down to 66 degrees at Bush Intercontinental Airport. The record low for this morning is 65, set way back in 1896. So we flirted with a 100-year-plus old record. That's how unusual this cold snap has been in July. Conroe dropped down to 61, Huntsville 60. It wouldn't surprise me at all if some of the home thermometers up near Bead Eyes and north of Navasota actually touched the upper 50s this morning. So way out of normal, low humidity, cool air, and it has been a spectacular morning, and it's a beautiful afternoon out there. Get out and enjoy it. So I've been digging into the weather records today, and here's what I found. This is how rare this cool snap in July is. Since 2001, the number of July days where we had lows in the 60s, again, this is since 2001, a total of 8. I counted. Number of snow days that Houston has had since 2001, 6. Now this 8 includes yesterday morning and this morning, so you can see snow in Houston and lows in the 60s in July are just about as uncommon, just as rare. So this is really an unusual treat. It's 88 degrees outside right now, dew points at 60, relative humidity 39%. Still have that northeast breeze at 8 to 12. It's gorgeous outside. It's all about the dew point. This low level of moisture in the atmosphere is what allowed those temperatures to drop down into the 60s overnight. And so dew points right now, 60 at Hobby, 58 Pearland, dew point at 56 in Brenham. So this is my summertime dew point scale. And I thought I'd never have to go below 60, but with dew points in the 50s, it's even off my dew point scale on how dry it is. That's how unusual this low humidity is and has been, and continues this afternoon. High pressure dominates the central and east half of the country. Our frontal boundary, the dividing line between fall-like weather we're enjoying right now and full-blown summer south of that line. And as of this afternoon, the Hurricane Center believes that nothing is going to develop out here tropical-wise. So they've dropped their chance for development out here to 0. So no tropical development is expected. And the reason is there's too much dry air and there's too much wind shear for any tropical development to get going out here. What about rain chances? So we go into Friday, look at the rain offshore. So Friday morning, we're still on the fall side of that front. It's going to be a comfortable morning Friday morning. A little more of that humidity comes in by Friday afternoon. And then on Saturday in the morning, notice how the showers and the moisture, the deep tropical stuff, reaches the coastline. So Galveston may start the morning with a rain shower on Saturday, and then that rain chance will move inland during the day on Saturday, and that will last through Sunday as well. So as we look at our 7-day forecast, gorgeous on Friday. Saturday and Sunday, the humidity really comes back. You'll feel it with scattered thunder showers Saturday and Sunday. Some of those could be heavy, especially south of I-10. And then it's back to normal low to mid 90s, 20 to 30% rain chance, full-blown summer returns Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is going to be tough to take because this break has been beautiful. I've almost kind of gotten used to it. I'm doing like this because I'm looking out the window. I can see the north breeze. And now we have to go back to summer, and we've got another 3.5, 4 months of this to go. So hang in there. Russ, back over to you.
All right, David, thanks very much. While David was talking there, I was also reading your comments here about Malia Davis. We know a lot of you are very, very interested in that story. If you're just joining our digital update here today, we can tell you that her stepfather has been indicted by a grand jury for tampering with a corpse. No murder charge in this case yet. But we are talking with our legal analyst right now, and later today we're gonna get his opinion on why that hasn't happened and just how this case is going and where he thinks it will go from here. Prosecutor strategy, things like that. So we're gonna have some of that for you coming up on our 411 newscast at 4 o'clock. I see a lot of you also mentioning Malia's mother, Brittany Bowen. She has not been charged with any crime, and we see what you're saying there, but that's just the facts of the case so far. But keep in mind the prosecutors and the detectives are still working this, and I'm sure we have not heard the last of what they plan to do here. Another story we continue to follow that you're very interested in as well, and we have a lot of new details on this today, talking about the woman who was shot while riding with her husband on Old Greenhouse Road near Katy. Coming back from a doctor's appointment, they were heading to the pharmacy. We wondered about what may have happened leading up to that. Were they targeted? Were they just a victim of stray bullets? And it turns out, at least from court documents we have today, that appears to be the case, that this couple, the 62-year-old woman and her husband, were riding along that street, and 2 other vehicles were shooting each other, and she was hit in the head and killed by a stray bullet. Here's who police are looking for today still. We want to throw up his mugshot again here so you can take a look at Tacony Blackledge. That is the guy that police say was involved here. He's been charged with murder. They believe he was driving a white Audi SUV. That was one of the vehicles involved here. So police, according to court documents, heard from witnesses who saw all this happen, saw these 2 vehicles shooting at each other, the white SUV and a black pickup truck. And then after everybody was gone, some other witnesses noticed, that this woman had been shot because the husband had pulled over to see what was going on there. So we also know this, Tacony Blackledge showed up at a hospital with a bullet wound. Now this was, we believe, before he was identified as a suspect. So we think that he was treated at a Houston hospital for that bullet wound and released before police identified him in this case. So he was able to get in and out of the hospital before he could be arrested. So he is still out there today. And I want to throw up that mugshot just one more time here to show Tacony Blackledge. If you know where he is, could be in Louisiana, police are telling us, but he also could be somewhere around here. So if you know about that white Audi SUV or where to find Tacony Blackledge. He has been charged with murder in the death of 62-year-old Saron Jones. All right, that is our digital update for today. We'll have more on these stories on our 411 newscast on the TV side coming up here in just about an hour and a half. We hope you can join us then for the 411. Until then, everybody have a great and have a safe day.